I trust by now you've went researching, you've got a few ideas, maybe you've got a pretty full browser with loads of cool ideas that other incredibly talented motion designers have done in the past. You've maybe went into After Effects, had a little mess around, or you went into Premiere and just kind of said, oh, I wonder how they did that. The next part of the process is actually starting to put the groundwork into the pre-production of the piece. The key thing in motion design and animation is to make sure things always feel coherent. Like, you don't want to have, you know, really bright and airy colors in one animation and the next one is really dark and morbid. You want some level of consistency. The big production companies, the big productions will probably have entire documents dedicated to brand guidelines. Like, I've worked for numerous brands who, when you start working for them, they send you a massive document exactly how they want things shot, colored, graded, framed, and the fonts they want using, the frame rate they want it developed in. We need to do that for our project. So we're going to look into the different styles that are out there, and we're going to start to think of how we decide which style we use for this particular project. So anyone who went to high school or senior school has probably heard things like Bauhaus or Art Deco or flat design. These are all different types of arts that are their own category. You don't really want to mix styles, or I mean, maybe a more talented artist than myself might. But as a motion designer, I'm not really interested in breaking the barriers of, what is an art genre. I'm more interested in kind of utilizing the categories to help inform my story. So what I'd start to do is I'd maybe look at, say, Art Deco. What colors they're using? Are they muted colors? Are there particular color styles? There's a lot of gold in this one. There's a lot of blacks, or like kind of just off black. This is a very glitz and glam art style, which might be good for this. There may be some things we can use. There's a lot of geometric shapes, which are interesting and great for animation. Another big one in the animation world would be flat design. This is really big for corporate videos. This is my personal favorite of the design styles, because it is very user-friendly. It's not the type of thing that needs an art degree to do. As you can see, the shapes are quite simplistic. You obviously have just hard lines, kind of half shadows, very muted colors. Look at these clouds. I mean, they're essentially just ovals, but you understand what they are. And once they're put in motion, they're actually quite interesting. I quite like this Art Deco one. The things that's associated with it, like the Empire State Building, the Great Gatsby, like, these, and golds, like, is all very, it like screams wealth. What I'll do now is I'm going to go into the old www.youtube.co.uk. You might have heard of it. And I'll probably go Art Deco animation. Art Deco, see what this one's saying? So this one's got an interesting glow, and that is very characteristic of Art Deco. Bright lights, kind of like New York in the, 1950s? Like, interesting that. So we chose our design style. We've also chosen our color palette, which you can see here. I like that grey, the blue, the black, and the two off browns or golds. I think those are perfect. I think that's exactly what we want. So we also need to find a font. For this, I tend to go to DaFont. This is a great website. We want something that's in keeping, but a bit more modern. Well, that one's interesting. Universal accreditation. I think I'd probably get that one. Just click the old download button. Open up the folder that is located within. It should bring up this window. Highlight the fonts, right click, press open, and then you're just going to want to go and click install on all of these pop-up windows. And there you go, guys, that's your font installed. I'm going to mess around with them probably in After Effects now, actually. I'm going to open it up and just kind of make a little composition just with all my assets, so I can get a kind of idea of what the whole visual is going to look like once brought together. And this is just a chance to experiment with what you've collated so far. So do it in After Effects, do it in Photoshop, do it in Paint if you want, just whatever you're comfortable in. This is just a chance to kind of see what a standard frame in the animations is going to look like. After messing around with everything that I've been working on, I've made a little composition just to give you guys an idea, and myself an idea of what the visual style is going to be. So let's have a little look. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I may not even use that in the video, but it just gives me an idea of what the standard look is going to kind of be. So Obviously, I've maintained a lot of that Art Deco style. I changed fonts. I went looking on other websites because I thought the other fonts were a little bit much. They lacked much subtlety. So I went searching for other ones, and I found these two, which are still Art Deco but just a bit dialed back. Obviously, I've got the colors that we already established. I took those colors. I made their individual composition, which allowed me to put them at the bottom of my master composition, and I can always refer back to my color scheme. That is what a standard frame is going to look like. As I say, I might not use it, but we've definitely at least made some assets here that are going to be useful, and we've given ourselves a sense of what we need to do every time we come and make an animation, and what we're aiming for every time we're back in After Effects. So you won't always have to come up with a design style completely by yourself. Maybe you're doing a piece about a company who's already got a very well-established brand. This was the case for us when we did the Spotify video, The Illegal Rise of Spotify. Obviously, Spotify has very iconic colors. The greens and the fonts are all very known throughout the industry. So in this situation, it would have been a bad decision for the story for us to have come up with our own design style. So you really have got to understand, it's very contextual to the story you're telling as to whether you're going to come up with a design style or if you're going to use one that's existing. And if you're going to come up with a design style, again, it's down to the story in terms of which type of art style you select. But Google is very much your friend in this situation, and there's lots and lots of design styles and lots of resources out there to kind of give you inspiration as to what might work for your story. For instance, I literally will just type in different art styles, and it'll give you lots of options here. So modern at the top, pop art is the one I'm on at the minute. Pop art is a very good one for animations. It's just a playful style that lends itself very well to animation. In terms of other resources for being inspired, of course, YouTube is a good one. If you go to Envato, this is a fantastic place to kind of get an idea of what other people are doing. Every year, Envato will make a kind of a year wrap up of the design trends that were big. For instance, in this one is 2022, but they do it every single year. There's also the Inspiration Grid, which is one that I've not used a lot myself, but I hear is very good. It's basically just what other filmmakers and animators are putting out there, and you can kind of see just a range of different styles in one place. Of course, Pinterest is a very prominent place for visual imagery. This is one Pinterest board from up north. It's great for graphics designers and obviously motion designers as well by extension. And then finally, Instagram is also another great one. I imagine a lot of you are like me in that you spend a little bit more time than you should on the app, but while you're there, you might as well be going through what other animators and motion designers are doing and saving them. Whenever it comes to getting into the meat and bones of a project, you've over the last few months, you've saved a bunch of images, a bunch of videos that will help and guide you during the creative process. That is the end of the style part of the process. As I say, this is going to take you a while to get right, so experiment with it, mess around with it, give yourself the time to kind of play around and get comfortable with the design style that you've picked. So I'll see you in the next video.